So I don't know.
Private school. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if I answered your question about.
Oh, no, you did.
Okay, cool.
No, you did.
Because that was a hard one.
Private, private school versus public school. So I know that you've been in the public school system your entire career. And we have the advantage living in this part of the country where a lot of the public school systems are some of the best in the country. But you go into other parts of the country where, say, the public school systems aren't as good, and so people will look at that private school option. So your thoughts on that?
I think that there should be some choice in education, and I know that that's not a popular opinion among educators. I believe that I teach for a wonderful school district, and so I don't understand why somebody would want to send their kid to private
Right.
school. But if you don't want to vaccinate your kid, that's an alternative. If you want your kid to be taught in an environment that is revolves around your religion, whether it be Catholicism, Islam, Judaism. I don't know if there's Buddhist schools. I'd have to look that up. That's interesting. I just thought about that.
That's I have to look it up myself now. You got me curious. I'm pretty sure there are, but maybe not in this part of the world. I don't know.
Or Hinduism. Yeah,
Right.
I don't. It's interesting. So I can see the appeal to people who it follows their values or their culture, depending. I do know that there are school districts that are really struggling right now with distance learning. I know personally, and it's hard as an educator to not take this personally, but so many people are pulling their kids out, even in Northern Virginia, to do homeschooling. And that's really interesting to me, because they're going to come back in 2 years, I'm sure.
Right.
But I think a lot of these parents are going to be very upset when they realize that now they have to create the lesson plans, deliver the lesson plans, grade the everything, make sure that, because they're still going to have to use technology for much of this, and they're going to have to parent. And I think that's a lot. So that I think is going to be really interesting in about a year or two when there's a vaccine and people are able to go back to what we consider normal.
Right.
A lot of these kids are going to come back, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they've kept up educationally with their peers, and how their parents are faring. Because sometimes I worry that people don't realize how hard teachers work.
Oh, you guys, work your tails off. One of my brothers, he's a school teacher, and he just moved from Arlington County to Fairfax County. He's starting with Fairfax County this year, actually. And
what a year to start!
I'm sorry.
What a year to start!
Yeah, exactly. Well, this all went into he put this into motion last year, and this kind of everything happened with the pandemic and everything else, and but yeah, he got brought on with Fairfax County. I did an interview, with the guy I know for about 35 years now, and he was in the military. And so one of the things that we talked about when it came to homeschooling is the stunt in social development, where kids really don't learn to have those interaction skills that they normally would that you learn in school. I think that people who are pulling their kids out of school and decide to homeschool them, and because they're doing this out of choice, that'd be kind of one of the things I'd be somewhat concerned with. And just overall, people maybe who are doing, just due to what's going on with the pandemic and the school systems and everything else, and they're doing distance learning, if that's going to be a thing where that's going to hinder social development, depending on how long this thing goes when it comes to how people interact with one another at the school setting and at the school level, because these are the lessons they take now and they take out to the real world, once they go on to college or the military, etc.
I agree with you. I haven't had a lot of kids who have come in after being homeschooled. So I don't have a lot of experience with that. I will say that they're a lot quieter than their peers.
Right.
So, but I don't know how much they're going to lose if it's only a year or two. I guess it depends on what year or two it is for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's not going to matter as much for younger kiddos. I think that if it's your, sophomore and junior year, those are pretty formative years when you think about what you're doing and how you're growing and how you're kind of detaching yourself from your parents a little bit and trying to find your own mind. And so if instead you're stuck at home for 2 years with just your parents and only what they believe, even if they're perfectly wonderful people and believe all of the things I believe, and I would love to hang out and like have conversations with them, like I think it's important for kids to form their own opinions.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.